I'm here to share my experience living with asthma. And it's not just asthma, but my asthma is what is called allergic asthma. Bad allergies plus asthma makes it even worse. Have you ever heard about allergic asthma? If you haven't, you can do some research. I'm sure you've heard about allergies, and I'm sure you've heard about asthma, but the combination is nothing pretty. It's not normal. That is something that can take you out in the blink of an eye. I have been struggling with allergic asthma. Before allergic asthma, I wasn't having allergy problem. I wasn't having asthma problem until I had started having breathing problem. Coughing, sneezing, watery eyes, and then breathing problem along with it. It's not the breathing issues that starts first. It normally starts with watery eyes, itchy throat, itchy nose that leads to sneezing, and the itchy throat leads to coughing. And then when I start cough, then my lungs start to feel weak, and there comes the breathing issues. Of course, I couldn't stay home. I had to run to the hospital. I wasn't diagnosed in Jamaica. I've talked about this before, but not so detailed. I wasn't diagnosed in Jamaica, and after being diagnosed as an adult, yes, as an adult, and it was cold season, it was winter, and they only gave me some steroids and some inhalers, steroid inhalers too, and it would help. Spent my time, came back to Jamaica. I started having the problem after a while again. But I noticed that my allergies bothers me mostly when the time is extremely hot. And the heat, that is when I have terrible breathing problem. Whenever it's cooler, I feel much better, lighter, and can manage myself more. So normally when it's getting to the summertime, I start to worry, because I know more than likely I will have to be going to the hospital or the doctor to be treated. Now, whenever I am home and it's summertime, I try to keep myself as cool as I can. That takes showering more than the normal, going outside if it's cooler than in the house, even at late nights, just to feel a bit cooler. Using air conditioner and fan around the clock 24 hours of the day. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't help. So whenever it gets to the stage where I cannot control myself at home anymore by trying to stay cool and by using the inhalers, I have to run to the doctor. I normally would go to the doctor first, and if they give me a certain amount of nebulizer, which was what I always needed, and some pills to take, and along with some allergy medicine, sometimes I end up have to go to the hospital too, because they say that they cannot give me more than a certain amount of the nebulizer. And if they see that every time they sound me or they test me and they hear that I'm still wheezing, they say hospital. So I've been through quite a lot of that. But recently now, after December is always like my busiest time of the year, where I bake fruitcakes and sell, I was extremely tired from baking, and decided that after I finish bake, I'm gonna take a good few days, just lie down, relax, and try to gain back some energy that I lost during baking season. And not only baking, I had to go out to do other stuff, and I also did my annual kids treat, and that took a lot out of me as well. So just as I was planning on lying down, relaxing as much as I can, I start to get sick. I was saying, oh my God, why am I sick now? The time is more cooler, yes, and I normally get more sick when it's hot. But I know what caused the problem, because I love to stay cool. I was exposing my body too much. Even when people say it's cold, I still would use the AC because I like to feel very cool. So yes, that was what messed me up. So I can get the attacks from either being too hot or being too cold. So in this case, this time of the year, it was a case of exposing my body too much and being too cold. So that messed me up. Anyway, I had treatment at home, like my inhalers that I use, 2 different types, and I buy some over-the-counters for the allergy and the coughing, and I would take them. None of those were helping. None of them were helping. I stayed home because one of the main reasons why I didn't want to go to the doctor to get the nebulizer, they always give me the treatment that they always give me. The after effect, the side effect would make me feel so nervous. My hands would shake, my voice would shake, even my inside would feel nervous. So I always stay home until I feel like I can't stay home anymore. Then I would run to the doctor. So I was home unbelievably for 3 weeks, trying to cure myself at home, before I decided that if I don't go in tonight, I might not live to see tomorrow. So I didn't want to call my daughter while she was at work, but I waited until she got home. And as soon as she got home, I said to her, I need to go to the doctor tonight. And she said, okay, what time? I tell her that I'm going to get ready. I exhausted the inhalers. I couldn't drink any more medicines. I could barely go. I was so weak. If I made 5 steps, I felt like I was going to collapse. And I went. It took me a time to get out of the house. It took me a time to get in the vehicle because every 5 steps I had to stop and rest. When I eventually got up in the vehicle, instead of using the AC, I decided to wind down the window to get some fresh air. And at the same time, I had to be taking deep breaths. And I also had to use the inhaler after getting in the vehicle. I made it to the doctor. I told them I am there, and they said, okay. The doctor did what he had to do and said, yes, you're wheezing. And he decided to give me the nebulizer. I was there on the neb, and he said, all right, I'm also going to give you some pills and some other medications. The pills that I was always trying to avoid were the same pills that I got. My worst fear. And so I sat there. They administered, and then it was time for me to come home. I was feeling a little better, but I said to him if I should start having the bad symptoms again tomorrow, I'm gonna come back. And he said, of course, you will only be charged for the nebulizer. They won't charge to see you again, even if it's a different doctor. So I told myself that I'm not going to do that to myself anymore. The moment I feel like I need to go to the doctor, I am going to get up and I am going to go, because it's not one, it's not two, it's not three times I was being stubborn. And when I felt like it was the last of me, that was when I decided to go to the doctor. I can't forget one of the time. My little daughter, she cried. They done thought they lost me. Done thought they lost me. All because I couldn't breathe. So for those people that has asthma, please take care of yourself. If you know it's heat that bother you, try to keep cool. If it's coolness that bothers you, try to keep warm. If you have allergies, try to treat your allergies before it starts affecting your asthma. It's a dangerous combination. And unfortunately, I don't know what I am allergic to. So I have to be treating allergy, I have to be treating sinus, and I have to be treating asthma. I'm still not 100% recovered. Yeah, but for the past 4 days now, I have been feeling much stronger. And it's only because I went to the doctor and got the nebulizer treatment why my lungs is getting stronger. Yeah, so recently, in the last part of December, I nearly lost my life to asthma. Didn't want to say it like this. It might sound graphic. So disclaimer, for those who it might trigger, I'm sorry, but story of my life. Please protect yourselves properly if you are asthmatic and more so have allergies.